Should you hire a narrator to do your audiobook for you, or should you just narrate it yourself? That's the question I'm going to answer in this video. What's going on, guys? Marc Guberti here. I help people on this channel who want to become successful writers. And if you guys want that, make sure you subscribe for more videos just like this one. So it's undeniable that audiobooks are gaining a lot more traction. And not only are audiobooks gaining traction, but there's also a lot less competition. For certain keywords, you could find thousands of different Kindle books and paperbacks, but you may only find a few hundred or even a few dozen audiobooks around the same exact keyword. So there's a lot less competition in the audiobook space, and it is a growing industry. So while audiobooks are important, the question comes up: should I narrate my own audiobook, or should I hand it off to someone else? Now, I've been on both sides of this. I've narrated my audiobooks, and some people have come to me and said, "Hey, Mark, can you narrate this audiobook for me? Because I don't want to do it." So I'm going to talk about some of the different reasons why you would want to narrate your own audiobook versus why you want to hand it off to someone like me. So when it comes to narrating your audiobook, the main reasons are that, one, you save money. You don't have to pay the other person to narrate the audiobook for you. And depending on how long your audiobook is, it could cost a few $100s to go to a narrator. So the way that a lot of the narrators charge is they charge per finished hour, and they charge based on word count. And $50 to $100 per finished hour is what you're going to get for a typical, like a beginner rate. That's going to be the baseline. That's going to be the minimum that you're going to have to end up paying. So if your book ends up being 4 hours long, you're looking at $200 to $800 as that low end payment. Actually, $200 to $400 now that I think it over a little bit. But the idea is that it does cost money to have someone narrate the audiobook for you. And doing it yourself allows you to save that money. Similarly, people really like to hear the narrator's voice, like the author being the narrator, because then people get to know you on a deeper level. It builds that know, like, and trust. And if you are doing podcasts, you are doing YouTube videos, it makes sense for you to be narrating your own audiobook, because then people hear your voice even more. And it is good to put your voice in front of your audience. Those are the main reasons why you want to narrate your own book versus hiring a narrator to turn your book into an audiobook. Now, there are some concerns that can really hurt your ability to complete the audiobook and do it in a timely manner, which is where it would make sense to hire a narrator. So let's say you have so many other things to do for your business. The book is something that you understand the audiobook space is huge. You understand there's a lot of momentum and a lot less competition, but you don't have the time to do the audiobook narration. And it does take considerable time. When you see that a book is done in like a 2-hour listen, it doesn't take 2 hours to actually produce that audiobook. You have the retakes. You have to edit clips together. You have to master the files so they meet ACX standards. And those are going to be some things that really add up to the time it takes for you to complete that work. Now, you can hand off the files to someone else to do the mastering and the editing instead. That does cost money. A lot of narrators also have that skill where they handle everything. So in my case, not only do I narrate the book, but I also do all the editing. I do all the mastering. I pretty much just say, here are the files, you put them into ACX, and then they get published. A lot of narrators work that way, so they shave off all the time and responsibility associated with producing the audiobook from start to finish. Another big reason why you may want to consider a narrator is the deadline. So on my Fiverr gig, I don't really I get the audiobook done quickly. You will see that it takes me a few days to turn around the book, and I abide to that deadline. But if it's just you and your audiobook, it could take weeks or even months before you have that audiobook ready. And all those weeks and months are taking away from some of the potential sales that you could be making. So rather than you just creating a little bit here and there, forgetting about your audiobook from time to time, you can hand it off to someone else, give them the deadline, give them the obligation to get the contents to you in time. And then in a few days, you've got your audiobook ready to go instead of a few months. Now, there are some narrators who they will take a month or so to go through your book and read it and edit and all that. I'm not one of those people. I'd like to get them done within a few days because I do have frequent gigs coming my way and other business stuff. So anytime I get a new gig for someone who wants me to narrate their audiobook, I am right on it, just hoping to get it done as quickly as possible while providing the optimal value. I think regardless of which path you choose, an audiobook is essential if you are an author because it gives your audience another way to consume your content. One of the reasons I created more audiobooks, my own books, is because I had a lot of people say to me, I would really love if you had an audiobook. Like they wouldn't buy my Kindle books, they wouldn't buy my paperbacks, but they would buy my audiobooks. And with a lot less competition, it is easier to win on those algorithms for an Audible versus Kindle versus paperback, like the whole Amazon algorithm. And then when your audiobook does well, that's going to rub off a little bit on the Kindle and the paperback. And you have 3 different formats for people to choose from for your book. That's going to be a game changer in terms of how much revenue you are able to make for each book. So if you have any questions about the whole audiobook journey, let me know in the comments. I will be linking to my Fiverr gig for people who would want me to narrate their audiobook and get it to them within a few days. And if you aren't sure where to go with the audiobook production, you could also schedule a strategy call with me to see if we are a good fit or just get some guidance with where to go with audiobooks. The link to schedule a strategy call with me will be in the description of this video. But in any event, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely smash the like button or gently tap it, entirely up to you. And subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys in the next one.